Yo, what's good, y'all? If you're newer to this channel, this is a series where I scour Amazon, buy cheap pieces of filmmaking gear, test them out, and let you know if you should be buying them. Now, in this series, I give away all of the gear. And in this video is going to be one exception because my homie creative Ryan wants one of these things. But anything other than the monitor, you can get for completely free in a giveaway. And all you got to do is head down to the comment section below and drop me a comment about anything, but just make sure you include your Instagram handle so I can reach out to you if you do win these things. Now, this video is sponsored by Skillshare, and I'll talk about them a little bit later in this video, but let's dive straight into it, man. I don't want to waste too much of y'all time. The first piece of filmmaking gear is this GVM motorized slider that is 31 inches. Now, this comes in at $279, but I actually found a longer version of this slider for significantly cheaper. You can get a 47-inch version of this slider for $179, which I thought was pretty ironic. I'll leave links to both of these down in the description if you want the longer version of it. But I wanted to get a motorized slider because I film myself and I know how powerful and how useful motorized sliders are. And I know a lot of y'all are in the same predicament. Now let's start off with the things that I do like about this slider. The first thing is its price. I would say that this is extremely affordable, especially comparing it to the slider that I primarily use for all of my YouTube content. My slider costs over $1,000 to get all the components that I needed to get it up and running, with the motorized head being able to pivot and do all the cool stuff like that. This one, I would say, is priced pretty reasonably for what it does. Now, with that being said, this slider is very simple. It's very simplistic, and that's not a bad thing for me. I love when technology is extremely simple, when I don't got to look at a manual to figure out how to get it up and running. I freaking love that. The app for this slider is extremely simple. This slider is actually extremely lightweight as well. It's all carbon fiber, which means that carrying this thing around, even in its packing case, is extremely lightweight. It's so much lighter than the slider that I use. I'm gonna keep going back to that because that's one of my only reference points of sliders. When I bring all my components, my motorized head, my slider itself, man, it's so heavy, but this thing is extremely lightweight. Another thing that I really like about this slider is that it comes with everything you need to get it up and running. It comes with batteries, it comes with a wall cable, it comes with a ball head. I love that. With my slider, I literally had to buy every single thing individually for it. You buy the slider, then you gotta buy the motorized head, then you gotta buy the component to even use batteries on the slider to use it wirelessly, and then it even still doesn't come with a carrying case. You buy this for one affordable price and you get everything. When it comes to using my slider, I gotta take the slider, I gotta take the motorized head, I gotta take batteries for the slider, I gotta take batteries for the motorized head. It just becomes this big ordeal whenever I need slider shots. And most of the time I just don't even wanna take it because it's kind of a hassle to transport all of these different things. I love the fact that this slider can still pivot, it still can get the crescent movement, and it can also still do panoramic pans without a motorized head. It makes it so you need less batteries, less things to bring with you, and it makes it so much more lightweight. The majority of the slides that I need are literally just straight down the slider, straight to the side, or just a crescent. Like, I don't really veer too much off of the motions that you can get on this slider. And for me, not having a motorized head isn't a negative with this. That all sounds good. The slider sounds amazing, especially for the price, but what are the things that I don't like about the slider? Well, the biggest thing that I noticed the first time that I powered the slider on and started moving it with the app is this thing is loud. Like, the frequency that comes off of the slider, especially when it's moving, is unbearable to the point where you can't have a camera within, I would say, like 3 feet of it, because it's gonna pick up all of that noise. So if you're doing any sort of dialogue, if you're heavy into interviews for corporate work, you're gonna have to use this slider way far away from your external audio source and use a telephoto lens because this thing is so freaking loud. But for the people who are just filming B-roll of themselves, just filming B-roll of products, you aren't gonna really notice this. I didn't do any sort of dialogue shots where I had the microphone on me and I was talking, so it didn't really bother me. But if this is something that you do. You gotta keep that in mind. The next thing that I didn't necessarily like about this slider is the fact that it didn't have twistable mounting underneath the slider. And what that means is, like, you basically have to physically turn the entire slider around on a tripod if you plan on mounting it to a tripod. And the last and final thing that I don't necessarily like about this slider, which is kind of contradictory to what I did say, is that the pivoting is limited. I don't necessarily hate it, but this is something to keep in mind. If you think you're gonna buy the slider and be able to do like full 360 pans using the bar in the middle, you really can't do that. It's only a select amount of pivots that you can do with the slide, so keep that in mind. All that being said though, slider solid. I like it. It's a good buy. I think if you're in the market for a motorized slider and you don't wanna break the bank, definitely pick it up. They do have a bigger, longer option, like I said, that costs less money. It's a good price, you know? I'll leave links to it down in the description if you guys are interested in it. The next piece of gear is the K&F 1/8 mist filter. Now this thing costs $26. Now this is a 1/8 mist filter and a 77mm filter thread. They have different filter thread sizes that will make the price cheaper or more expensive, but it's not by much. Comparatively to Black Pro Mist and the exact same filter thread size and the exact same strength, that costs $110. So Black Pro Mist is 4 times more expensive than this mist filter. And that's something to be said. If you're on a budget and you want to get a stylistic look, or you want to use mist to kind of take off that hard edge and get some blooms in your shot, you can do it for a cheap price. Now, this is why I have this light in the shot. If you were wondering, like, yo, it's kind of like polarizing and overbearing. I really just put it in the shot so you can kind of see how some of that blooming is happening with this 1/8 filter. Now, 1/8 strength isn't super over the top. It's not even super stylized. You probably wouldn't have even noticed it at all if I didn't tell you. And that's something that I did notice while using this mist filter throughout this entire video. Everything I shot on my R5C had the mist filter on it. So pretty much every single shot you see in this video that isn't behind the scenes of me shooting is coming with this 1/8 mist filter for you to be able to see what it looks like. That's becoming so weird. You know when you say something so much like mist, like it's becoming very weird to say, and I don't know, I just feel it. That's something random. Now, one of the things that I do like about this mist filter, the first has to be the price. It's 4 times cheaper than Black Pro Mist, and I think that that's awesome. The second thing that I do like about this mist filter is that it has these really grippy ridges on it. And I know that sounds like super random and not that significant, but if you've ever used a filter before and put it on a lens or put it onto like a step-up ring, you know how easy it is for filters to get stuck. And the fact that this has these very grippy ridges on it makes it very easy to get it on and off a lens. So I just thought that that was something cool that I liked. Now I'll throw some examples up on the screen with this mist filter in comparison to Black Pro Mist by Tiffin. And you guys can be the judge of what it looks like. But while you're looking at these examples, I want to tell you about this skill that I've been developing. Over the past few months, I've really been trying to add a different flair to my YouTube videos. And some of you may have noticed, taking excessive time, tons of angles, and putting a lot of time into creating them. I really just want to give the viewer the best experience possible. Now, this YouTube success class on Skillshare by one of my favorite YouTubers, MKBHD, has actually sparked a lot of really interesting ideas for my future content. Not only just getting a click, but keeping a viewer engaged by hooking them, planning out the project, and filming it in an aesthetic way are all things that I've learned from this class. It's actually been a game changer. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creators with thousands of classes led by industry experts. Whether you're trying to learn how to plan a music video, script a YouTube video, or start an online business, Skillshare has you covered with classes about them all and so much more. And you can access them all with one affordable subscription. As we head into the summer, it's no better time to get started on the journey of learning that one skill you've always wanted to, or kick off that side hustle you've been procrastinating on because you don't know where to start. The first 500 people to click my link down in the description will get 1 month for completely free on the Skillshare platform. Go try it out. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. This next item might be my favorite item in this entire video, and I was just not expecting it to be. Like, this one caught me off guard, but it's this portable fog machine by Ulanzi, and this is coming in at $110. This is very interesting because comparatively, the Smoke Genie by PMI costs $550. This is a tool that I've always wanted to use, but I never wanted to pay the price for. $550 just seems absurd to me for a personal hazer or fog machine. But this one right here, $410, I was like, yo, I'll definitely test it out. And this thing has exceeded my expectations, and I'm definitely gonna buy me another one after I give this one away because I love this. Back when I would shoot music videos heavy, I would use a lot of haze in a can, and I had to stop using haze in a can because even though it was very convenient to be able to just have a can of haze and not have to worry about bringing a fog machine and worrying about power, haze in the can always left a very sticky and slick residue on everything in the room, and I just hated it. So I love the concept of being able to have a portable fog or haze machine with me without those consequences. The dope thing about this portable fog machine is you get a lot of fog out of just using one full container. This thing can go for a significant amount of time. It's gonna fill up a room multiple times. You're not gonna have to worry about filling this up every single second. Another really dope thing about this portable fog machine is it comes with a remote, so you can use it wirelessly. If you just wanna sit this in the corner in a room and have the remote on you and trigger it whenever you need some more fog in the room, you can do that. I think that's really tight. If you've ever used fog machines before, I used to always use fog machine on music videos back in the day. I would always notice that like, I gotta wait for it to warm up before it starts pumping fog into the room. This thing is instant. You just press the button down and the fog will literally start going out. I like this thing a lot, and it's honestly nothing bad that I have to say about it. Like, I haven't found one con to using this. It works. It comes with everything you need. You get a carrying case, you get fog juice, you get different attachments. Like, it's nothing bad about it. It's great. It's been working fine. The battery life is awesome. You get a lot of fog out of one full container of fog juice. Like, it's been a blast. I like it. If you are looking for some cinematic atmosphere in your shots, you don't want to have to worry about bringing a fog or a haze machine, this is a great option, man. This is a really cool piece of filmmaking gear. The next item is this K&F Concept Sling Bag, and this is coming in at $40. I'm one of those people who doesn't like to take my camera backpack. Like, it depends on what I'm doing, obviously. Like, if I'm going to a shoot, I need to bring a bag, but sometimes I'm just going on a hike, or sometimes I'm just going out with family and I might just want to grab some quick vlog clips, or sometimes I'm just wanting to travel light. Like, I don't want to bring a big backpack. So the sling right here is a good option for that. This K&F Sling Bag actually looks good in my personal opinion. I got it in this like army green color. I think that it looks really dope. It's minimal. If this was mine and I wasn't planning on giving it away, I probably would scratch the branding off of the front of it because I think that it would look so much better just clean with no logos. But I think that it looks good. What I will say about the Sling Bag is that it actually has a good amount of space. Aside from these 3 dividers that you can insert the filmmaking gear into, it comes with a ton of different pockets and a ton of different areas where you can just stick stuff into. The Sling Bag also has bottom straps if you want to strap on like a travel tripod to it. I think that's really dope. And it also has a luggage strap. So if you're walking through the airport and you want to throw this Sling Bag onto your luggage and roll it around and not have it on your back, you can also do that. Here are 2 of my favorite configurations that I found to use with this sling bag. So first we got the Fuji X100V, which is a camera that I take with me everywhere. I always got it on me. It's just so small. Fits right in the middle compartment. Next camera that I've been using a lot lately is the Insta360 X4. This is a 360 camera. This is great for behind the scenes. It's just capturing anything around you. You could just press record and it's gonna capture everything in its vicinity and you can figure out all the framing and stuff in post. I love this camera. And then the last and final compartment, I got my travel tripod. If I need to throw the X4 somewhere, if I need to throw the Fuji somewhere and just, you know, set it up, get a tripod shot, get a shot of myself, I can use that. I love this small man photo tripod. Love this configuration. It works perfect for my portable setup. The next configuration that I found works really dope is using the R8 with the 16mm prime lens on it. Very small setup, compact. If you vlogging, this is the one. In the next compartment, I got the Rode Video Micro 2. Incredible microphone. This is a great vlogging setup if I'm out just creating content and I want to be lightweight. This is what I'm going with. And in my last and final compartment, I got the Sigma 35mm f1.4, my favorite prime lens. This way I got a little bit of variety. I can have the 16mm on me for vlogging, and if I want to get some cool B-roll or just get some really nice cinematic shots, I could just swap over to that 35mm, and it also has the adapter on it too. It fits into the bag vertical and it just works out perfect. So this Sling Bag can actually fit a considerable amount of stuff. Great option, especially for 40 bucks. You really can't beat it. I think that this is a really dope bag. The next item is the Viltrox DC550 monitor coming in at $170. In my first iteration of doing cheap Amazon filmmaking gear, I purchased a budget monitor. It was great, has a ton of different features. It was sleek, it was lightweight. It felt a little plasticky and I think the build was a lot less than this one, a lot less good than this one. So this one right here is kind of a step up. First thing that I really like about this Viltrox monitor is the design of it. I think that it looks really good. Like, it looks nice, it looks sleek. It looks like a premium monitor despite the fact that it's only 170 bucks. This monitor comes with everything you need, which is also a really great thing. You get a carrying case, you get a battery, you get cables, you get a cold shoe mount, you get a sun hood. Everything that you need to get this monitor up and running, you get it. It comes with HDMI cables as well. When it comes to budget monitors, I would say the downfall of the majority of the ones that I've tested before in the past is that the color coming out of the box is just terrible in comparison to your camera, and the responsiveness of the monitor is just so freaking slow that it's so annoying to use. And I would say that this monitor doesn't have either one of these problems. It's extremely responsive. If you press that touch screen or button, it's gonna reflect that touch input instantly, and I think that that's awesome. It also has a dial on the side and buttons on the top as well. If you don't wanna utilize that touch screen, you can just touch the buttons. You don't have to do touch screen, and I like that a lot. Because sometimes I don't wanna do touch screen. Sometimes I don't want the screen to have a bunch of fingerprints on it. and I could just navigate through the menus and select whatever I need using that dial and those buttons on the top. Another really good thing about this monitor is it's extremely bright. Brightness on this monitor maxes out at 1200 nits, and I found that using this outdoors makes it very easy to do. The thing that I don't necessarily like about this monitor, which isn't necessarily exclusive to this monitor, I feel like I don't like this in any monitor, and I don't know why. It's the monitoring tools just don't look good. The vector scope, the waveforms, they just look terrible, and I would never ever use them. Whenever I'm using a monitor, I just use my in-camera tools, but if you don't have in-camera tools like some of the Canon DSLRs, or pretty much all of the Canon DSLRs, you can't do waveforms, you can't do false color, you can't do vector scopes. It's available, it just doesn't look good. And to me personally, I hate it. My R5C, luckily I have all of these tools inside the camera and I can just display them on a monitor. But these just don't look good. And I also don't like the way that they set up on the screen. It kind of reduces the size of the preview image that you're using. I just don't really like it, but it's not exclusive to just this monitor. I haven't really found tools inside of a monitor that I like yet. So that's just something to keep in mind. But this is a great purchase. I think that this monitor is awesome, and I would have loved to have this back in the day when I first got my Ronin and I was just looking for something to frame up my shots on. This thing is great color, it's sleek, it looks good, it's responsive. I think that this is an incredible buy, especially for the price. So if you're in the market for a monitor, definitely pick this one up. But that's gonna conclude this episode of Cheap Amazon Filmmaking Gear. Do me a favor, head down to the comment section and drop me a comment, especially if you wanna win something from this for completely free. Make sure to include your Instagram @ so I can reach out to you if you do get chosen to win any of these things. Make sure you guys check out Skillshare. It's an incredible platform. Learn you something this summer. The time is now. Get that side hustle going, get that skill going. This is the best time to do it, and you can get a free month on me by using the link down in the description. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop it a like. But with that being said, I'm out, y'all. Peace. What's up?
I was gonna ask you if you could take me to jump.